From propeller-driven interceptors to invisible stealth killers, Lockheed Martin has built some of the most legendary fighters in aviation history. Fast, deadly, and often ahead of their time, these aircraft shaped air combat for over 80 years. This is every fighter that carried the Lockheed name into battle. The P-38 Lightning was unlike anything the world had seen when it appeared in 1939. Twin engine, twin boom, and bristling with firepower concentrated in the nose. It didn't need to synchronize guns through propellers. The Lightning flew higher, faster, and farther than single-engine fighters of its era. P-80 Shooting Star brought Lockheed into the jet age with America's first operational jet fighter. Sleek, fast, and modern, it arrived too late for World War II but defined early Cold War aviation. Over Korea, a P-80 scored the first jet-versus-jet kill in history when it shot down a MiG-15. F-94. Starfire evolved from the T-33 trainer into America's first all-weather jet interceptor. Equipped with radar and an afterburner, it could hunt bombers in darkness and bad weather when other fighters were grounded. The F-94 defended American airspace during the early Cold War when Soviet bomber threats seemed imminent. The F-104 Starfighter was Clarence Kelly Johnson's radical answer to Korea's lessons about speed and altitude. With tiny, razor-sharp wings and enormous engine power, it could reach Mach 2 and climb like a rocket. Pilots called it the missile with a man in it because it flew more like a spacecraft than an airplane. F-117 Nighthawk didn't just advance fighter design, it revolutionized warfare itself. The world's first operational stealth aircraft was invisible to radar, flying into the most heavily defended targets with impunity. Its faceted angular design looked alien because it prioritized radar cross-section over aerodynamics, requiring fly-by-wire computers to keep it stable. F-22 Raptor is the most lethal air superiority fighter ever built, and nothing else comes close. Combining stealth, supercruise, extreme maneuverability, and sensor fusion, it dominates every aspect of air combat. Raptors can detect, track, and kill enemy fighters long before being seen themselves. The thrust-vectoring engines allow maneuvers impossible for conventional fighters, while stealth makes it nearly invisible. F-35 Lightning II is replacing almost every Western fighter with a family of stealthy, networked strike fighters. The Air Force F-35A, Marine Corps F-35B, and Navy F-35C share most systems while adapting to different missions. Stealth, advanced sensors, and data fusion make it a quarterback coordinating entire battle networks, not just a standalone fighter. XP-38 Chain Lightning was an experimental high-altitude research variant that never entered production. Lockheed explored pressurized cockpits and extended wing designs for extreme altitude interception. Though the project was cancelled, the research influenced post-war development. These experiments showed Lockheed's willingness to push boundaries, even when immediate military need didn't exist. YF-12 was a Mach 3 interceptor derived from the A-12 reconnaissance aircraft. Armed with long-range missiles and powerful radar, it was built to destroy Soviet bombers at extreme altitude and speed. Only 3 were built before the program was cancelled in favor of different defense priorities. The YF-12 set speed and altitude records that stood for decades, proving what was possible when performance mattered more than cost. XF-90 was Lockheed's penetration fighter proposal for escorting bombers deep into enemy territory. With swept wings and afterburning engines, it explored early supersonic design concepts in the late 1940s. Though it lost the competition to the F-88, the XF-90 provided valuable research data. Only 2 prototypes flew. F-94C Starfire improved dramatically on earlier F-94 variants with a completely redesigned nose and rocket armament. Equipped with 24 unguided rockets in wingtip pods, it was designed to destroy bomber formations with salvos. The all-rocket armament represented radical thinking about interceptor combat in the nuclear age. While the concept didn't prove practical, it showed innovative approaches to the bomber threat problem. CL-1200 Lancer was a private venture development of the F-104 starfighter in the late 1960s. Lockheed proposed stretched, modernized versions with improved avionics and weapons for export markets. Despite interesting performance characteristics, no orders materialized, and the project died. X-35 was a demonstration platform that later evolved into the F-35 program. Two X-35 examples showed that a single aircraft concept could satisfy multiple organizational needs. The X-35B's successful vertical landing demonstration became the key milestone that moved the project forward. These demonstration aircraft confirmed technologies and ideas that once appeared extremely ambitious at the program's beginning. YF-22 competed against Northrop's YF-23 for the Advanced Tactical Fighter contract. Two prototypes demonstrated supercruise, stealth, and extreme agility that set new fighter standards. The YF-22's victory led to the F-22 Raptor production contract. Those demonstration flights in 1990 showed what fifth-generation air combat would become. Model 10 Electra wasn't a fighter, but it deserves mention as Lockheed's foundation. This civil transport proved the company could design excellent aircraft and funded early expansion. Amelia Earhart's famous Lost Flight used an Electra, making it historically significant beyond aviation. The profits and reputation from the Electra allowed Lockheed to pursue military contracts that led to the P-38. P-38J Lightning represented the definitive production variant with improved engines and increased range. Distinguished by dive flaps under the wings, the J model solved compressibility problems that killed earlier pilots. This version equipped the majority of Lightning squadrons in Europe and the Pacific. The P-38J showed that good designs improve through iterative refinement and combat feedback. P-38 leaders, Lightning was the final and most capable production. Lightning with upgraded engines producing 1,600 horsepower each. Over 3,800 liters models were built, more than any other variant, and they served until the war's end. Some were converted to photo reconnaissance F-5 variants that photographed targets across the globe. The L model represents the Lightning concept fully matured and optimized. F-80C Shooting Star improved significantly over earlier variants with a more powerful engine and structural strengthening. This version equipped the majority of Shooting Star squadrons during the Korean War. F-80Cs flew thousands of ground attack missions, proving jets could handle combat beyond pure interception. The C model showed that first-generation jets could adapt to missions their designers never anticipated. T-33 tons. Bird was a two-seat trainer variant of the F-80 that became one of history's most successful training aircraft. Over 6,000 were built, and they served with air forces worldwide for decades. The T-33 trained countless pilots in jet operations, creating the global jet pilot force. Some nations armed them as light fighters, showing the design's versatility and longevity. F-94. A Starfire was the initial production version with basic radar and afterburner capability. These early models defended American airspace during the Korean War when bomber threats seemed imminent. Though never engaging enemy aircraft, they proved the all-weather interceptor concept. The A model represented America's first real capability to defend against night bomber attacks. F-94B. Starfire added improved avionics and better engine reliability over the A model. Several hundred equipped Air Defense Command squadrons across the United States. These interceptors maintained constant alert status, ready to scramble against unidentified radar contacts. The B model refined all-weather interception into a reliable operational capability. The F-104, a starfighter, was the initial production variant, emphasizing speed and climb rate above everything else. Armed with only a Vulcan cannon and Sidewinder missiles, it was built purely for air superiority. The A models serve primarily with Air Defense Command in the continental United States. These early starfighters were unforgiving but spectacular, achieving performance that seemed impossible. F-104C Starfighter added aerial refueling capability and hardpoints for bombs, creating a fighter-bomber variant. These equipped tactical squadrons and deployed to Vietnam for combat operations. The C model proved the starfighter could adapt beyond pure interception to strike missions. Flying low-level attacks in a Mach 2 interceptor was dangerous work that cost numerous aircraft. F-104G Starfighter was the multi-role version built primarily for NATO allies, especially Germany. With improved radar, navigation systems, and ground attack capability, it served multiple missions. Over 1,200 were built in Europe under license, representing a massive technology transfer. The G model's accident rate in German service created political controversy, but it remained effective when properly employed. The F-104S Starfighter was Italy's ultimate development, with improved radar and Sparrow missile capability. Designed for fleet defense and interception, it served until 2004, the last starfighters in frontline service. The S model showed that continuous improvement could extend even radical designs for decades. Italian pilots praised its performance and reliability after the systems matured. CF-104 Starfighter equipped the Royal Canadian Air Force as a strike fighter for NATO duties in Europe. Canadians operated them in the low-level nuclear strike role throughout the Cold War. The CF-104 proved that even allies of the United States could master demanding high-performance fighters. Canada's experience influenced procurement decisions for decades afterward. F-35, a Lightning II, is the conventional takeoff Air Force variant, replacing F-16 seconds and Aten seconds worldwide. With internal weapons bays, advanced radar, and stealth characteristics, it dominates modern air combat. Over 1,000 A models are planned for the U.S. Air Force alone, with hundreds more for allied nations. The F-35A represents the future of tactical air power for most Western air forces. F-35B Lightning II can take off from short distances and land vertically, giving Marines fighter power without large carriers. The lift fan behind the cockpit and swiveling engine nozzle enable vertical flight. Britain operates F-35Bs from its Queen Elizabeth-class carriers, creating credible naval air power. The B model proves that vertical fighters can match conventional designs when technology advances sufficiently. F-35C Lightning II features larger wings and stronger landing gear for carrier operations with the U.S. Navy. The wing area provides better low-speed handling for carrier approaches while maintaining stealth characteristics. Though the most expensive variant, it gives carriers fifth-generation strike capability. The C model ensures American carrier air wings remain dominant for decades. Have Blue was a research platform that demonstrated how advanced design concepts could function effectively. 2 prototype aircraft carried out limited evaluation flights at a remote development site, confirming angular shaping and specialized surface materials. Have Blue's success led directly to the F-117 design pathway and reshaped overall aircraft development thinking. Those experimental flights in the late 1970 seconds influenced aerospace design more than many operational aircraft ever did. A 12 Avenger II was the Navy's canceled stealth attack aircraft program in the early 1990 seconds. Designed as a flying wing carrier aircraft, it collapsed under weight problems and cost overruns. The A-12's failure cost billions and taught hard lessons about managing ambitious programs. Though it never flew, the program's troubled legacy influenced future procurement approaches. From twin-boom Lightnings hunting through Pacific skies to invisible Raptors that enemy pilots never see coming, Lockheed Martin built fighters that didn't just win battles, they defined what was possible. Speed, stealth, and innovation turned ambitious ideas into dominant aircraft.